Hello, fellow members of the Midnight Society. Welcome back to another episode review from the show Are You Afraid of the Dark? Last time, we covered The Tale of the Frozen Ghost, a Kristen story about a boy who encounters a ghost while at a relative's farm for the weekend. Tonight's narrative, from Betty Ann, is about a babysitter and two young kids who happen upon a haunted house after getting lost on their way home from an amusement park. Submitted for the approval of the Midnight Society, I call this Season 2, Episode 8, The Tale of the Whispering Walls. We open on the gang walking together towards their meeting site. David is telling the others that tonight, being a full moon on a leap year, is a night that spirits are free to take innocent victims away. Not to be a naysayer before we've begun, but wouldn't the whole full moon thing make more sense kicking off the next episode, The Tale of the Full Moon? Anyway, the others think that David's making stuff up. That is, until they find a hooded figure standing in front of the campfire. The figure slowly turns around to reveal... Apparently, aside from clowns, Kristen is also deathly afraid of papier-mâché masks as she's about to take off until it's revealed that the person in the cloak is Betty Ann. It seems that Kristen's costumes and theatricality are spreading to the others in the group, and not gonna lie, I dig it. When asked about the mask, she cites that because it's a full moon on a leap year, the mask is her only protection. To which Frank replies,
"Oh, no, not you too."
Frank, you realize that you're sneaking out of your house in the middle of the night to meet in the woods to tell scary stories, yeah? Why do you always begrudge the others when they want to set the mood a little bit? That was Eric's job. Unless it's your guilty conscience making you fill in for him since you all murdered him. Yeah, that's right, I haven't forgotten. Let me tell you something, okay? I'm running my Midnight Society differently, okay? We're not killing any members. Intentionally. I mean, sure, there was that one time, but that was purely an accident, okay? How are we supposed to know she was going to show up dressed as a ghost? I fear I've said too much. Betty Ann continues her preamble, stating that her story takes place on a leap year, and when it comes with a full moon, the spirits that prowl are hunting. She ends with,
"And it may be for you."
Holy sh**. Were the rest of you taking notes? That's how you begin a story. Her tale begins on a car driving along a rural road. Betty Ann gives some voiceover narration about our main characters, Claire and Andrew, heading back home after a day at the amusement park with their favorite babysitter, Louise. Inside the car, Andrew says,
The laugh in the dark ride was awesome. When Zebo jumped out, I almost croaked.
Oh, a reference to another Betty Ann story, eh? Like a Betty Ann story universe, a BASU. No, never mind. That just sounds like a lame college. Here at BASU Zebo Memorial Campus, you can get half the credit for twice the workload, and all credits are non-transferable. So register today, because at BASU, your money is our future. In response to Andrew's comment about Zebo, Claire says that he's childish. Louise then threatens not to take them for ice cream if they don't stop fighting. Lady, if this is your idea of fighting...
When Zebo jumped out, I almost croaked.
You're so childish.
Then you've got the cushiest babysitting job I've ever heard of. They arrive at a T in the road with a sign saying the interstate is to the left, but Louise remembers it the other way and apparently doesn't know how to read a map. First off, you're coming back from the amusement park. Didn't you go this way to get there? Even in a time before GPS, you think you'd remember which way you came. Second, I don't know what murder hobos made this fake road sign, but you guys didn't even try. Like, that's not fooling anyone. Even Claire asks,
Isn't that sign supposed to be blue?
I mean, only an idiot would trust that sign. So Louise follows the sign, which leads them to the Whisper Inn, and since Louise is now clearly lost, she goes inside with the kids to get directions. The place is empty and gives Andrew the creeps, but before he can leave, we hear,
"Shut that door!"
A man appears in a black suit with a skeleton rib pattern on the torso. Louise apologizes in her Canadian accent, stating that they're lost, to which the man replies,
"You're precisely on time."
Danger, hello, danger, get out! Get out now! Get those kids in that f***ing car and just go back the way you came. Don't think! Just... Shia, help me out here.
Just do it!
So, Louise doesn't do that, and continues trying to ask for directions. The creep in the skeleton jacket tells her that he has a shortcut on a dirt road that travels through the woods. Louise, please, I'm begging you, look at this man! This is not a face you can trust! Andrew then turns on a little portable fan that he has, messing with some indoor wind chimes, which seems to make the man teleport behind the counter where he asks if there's anything else they need. And without questioning what just happened, Louise thanks him and takes the children outside. But before they actually get outside and close the door, this happens. Subtle. Yeah. The kids think he's a creep, which he is, but Louise just thinks he's eccentric. Oh, Louise. How have you survived this long in life?
Remember, love is greatest when words are few.
The wind really starts picking up, so they get in the car and take the creep shortcut. They arrive outside a large house where the car stalls out. Louise wants to see if the house has a phone, but Andrew's getting bad vibes looking at the place, which his sister gives him a hard time about. Louise tells the kids to wait in the car, and that she'll be right back. Famous last words. But, in Louise's defense, Scream didn't come out till 1996, so she wasn't yet acquainted with Randy's rules for surviving a horror film.
Never, ever, ever, under any circumstances, say, "I'll be right back."
As Louise approaches the door to the house and prepares to knock, it opens automatically, and not with anyone operating it, mind you, as though the owners of the house heard the car out front. Nope. It just opens on its own, like any door on a ghost house would. Louise realizes that something is off about the whole situation and heads back to the car. Just kidding. Oh, you should see the look on your face. No, she totally goes inside to be murdered.
Bummer.
We cut to a bit later, and the kids say that Louise should be back already, so Claire decides to go in and get her. Andrew objects, prompting Claire to call him a chicken. They then race to the door, and Claire knocks on it. The door opens on its own again, and rather than heading back to the car, Claire grabs Andrew, holding him in front of her like a human shield, and heads in. She's dumb for going in, but I give her points for using her brother as a potential pincushion. The inside of the house is dilapidated. The kids call out for Louise and think they hear her upstairs. They head up to find her, but instead find themselves in one of the hallways from Disney's The Haunted Mansion ride, with some chilling music box tunes playing from one of the rooms. They head to the source of the music and find a miniature carousel surrounded by banana splits and assume it's a party set up by Louise. Glad to see the logic train left the station a long time ago with these three characters.
What's that supposed to mean?
You were already on your way to the place that makes the banana splits. Why would your babysitter then detour to a creepy old house in the middle of nowhere to give you said banana splits? At the very least, I'd assume the babysitter was trying to kill me in this scenario.
Alrighty, babes, let's get started before we head upstairs and get the blood of the innocent.
Andrew picks up one of the desserts, but it gets knocked out of his hands when Claire tries to dig into it with a spoon. Upon hitting the floor, it begins to smoke like it's made from the blood of a xenomorph. Then, in the smoke, a portal appears and the face of the bone jacket guy is seen laughing. It's at this point the kids finally make a run for it. Once outside, Claire comes up with a brilliant plan.
I guess we'll have to go back to that tavern and ask that guy for help.
What? Did you not just see his face materialize out of the death split cloud while laughing maniacally? Andrew objects, but not even for the right reasons. He just says,
I thought you said he was a creep.
Claire asks if he has a better idea. Yes! Any idea, other than that one, is a better idea. Let's go back to that tavern and ask that guy for help. Wait, you want to go ask the guy who appeared in the banana split fog for help? Are you sure that's a good idea? You're right. No, it was a dumb idea. I'm sorry I thought of it. We're obviously not going to ask him for help. We'll ask him if he has any banana splits. The kids run back to the Whisper Inn, but this time the place is bopping with people who all look completely out of place in the 90s. The kids explain their plight, but only receive cryptic expository responses from the ghosts? I'm going to say ghosts. They mention that they're all there because it's a leap year and that the house belongs to Master Raymond. Master Raymond? I thought Raymond was a terrible name for a robot in the Tale of the 13th Floor, but I see now that it's a worse name for a malevolent ghost. Your soul belongs to me, Master Raymond. Master Raymond? Get out of here with that name, bro. No, it's cool. It's cool. I think I'm going to keep my soul. This guy. Oh, not again. I really got to get my name changed. The kids head outside thinking that everyone inside is a loon. But then they immediately head back inside to ask if they have a phone, only to find the building empty once more. And then they go back outside to make me question why the director had them come outside previously to begin with, and then they decide to head back to the murder house to look for Louise. Ballsy. We cut to the house where the kids hear ethereal whispers echoing throughout the halls. They hear a voice beckoning to them and they go to it to find an image of Louise in a mirror. She says she's upstairs and begs for them to come save her. Andrew asks how she got in the mirror, which prompts the image to shift into Raymond's. The kids then try to leave the house, but the door closes, locking them in. Andrew wants to stay by the door while Claire searches the house, but she convinces him to go with her with just a bit of flattery.
Just do it!
2 Shias in 1 episode? It's too much? It's too much. It's too much. The kids head back upstairs, and while moving through the hallway, images of the people from the inn start appearing in the empty picture frames, but the kids don't see them. They find Louise in her room, sitting in a rocking chair, singing to a baby? ? They ask her what happened, to which she replies,
I'm fine. I've never been better.
No, she's not okay. That is not your babysitter, okay? I need an old priest and a young priest, right now.
The power of Christ compels you!
The kids see Raymond's ring on Louise's hand and realize they're being duped. Louise/Raymond then throws the baby at Claire, which really turns out to be a snake, which she tosses to the ground before running out of the room. My favorite part about all of this is that the moment they realize it's Raymond, Andrew bolts. Like, he doesn't pass go, he does not collect $200, he goes directly to the front door downstairs. Claire finds herself at a dead end and calls out for Louise. To her surprise, Louise responds from nearby. Claire finds her fused with the wall in a way that I can't even describe. Just look.
Help me.
If I wasn't already convinced that Betty Ann has a murder basement, this episode tips the scale.
I love it.
Claire pulls on Louise's arms, which activates a secret door. Back downstairs, Andrew calls out for Claire or Louise, and then the front door opens, causing the funniest scene in the episode.
Hey guys, the door's open!
Andrew finds that he's able to open the front door again, and has an epiphany about the wind and its effect on Raymond. He runs back upstairs to find the others. Inside the secret room, Claire finds Louise unconscious in a chair. Andrew arrives outside, and Claire instructs him to pull on the candle holder, but when he does, this happens. Andrew uses his mini fan to blow on the face, causing it to disappear. He then enters the room, and the 2 kids find themselves face to face with Master Raymond, who taunts them, prompting Andrew to do that thing, you know, where you know you'll get your ass kicked in the actual fight, but you still want to look tough?
I'm not small and I'm not scared of you.
Like, Claire is putting no effort into actually holding him back. Anyway, Raymond says that when the sun sets, Louise's soul will be his. He reveals that her energy will keep him and the house alive, and she'll become part of the house forever. Andrew manages to break a window, allowing wind into the room, which makes Raymond vanish. The kids grab Louise and start heading to the front door, but find it blocked by Raymond when they get there. Raymond puts Louise and Claire under his thrall, telling Andrew that they belong to him now. But he's interrupted by Violet, one of the souls he has trapped in the house. She's been saying how Claire reminds her of her little Jane the whole episode, and apparently she's finally had enough of Raymond's shenanigans. She opens the front door, and the wind, well, it literally blows him away, which frees Claire and Louise from his control. Wait, so all it took was a breeze to bring this guy down? Why would anyone who doesn't have asthma be afraid of him? Just a huff and a puff and he's out of your life. The 3 rush to the car, which now starts, and they haul ass out of there. But just as they leave, another car rolls up and stalls in front of the house. A man gets out of the car holding a map. The story ends with him looking up at the house. I guess the moral here is learn how to read a map. Plus, we saw the janky sign fall down after the others passed it, so how did this guy get tricked? He must be really bad at navigating. Betty Ann says that the house still stands, and that people still disappear when the moon is full on February 29th. She then puts back on her goofy mask, removing all the tension she created, but in typical fashion, every other member of the Midnight Society is completely freaked out by her story, and no one wants to be the first to leave. Didn't you all come together? Just leave together.
Touché.
Now for the review. This was a great episode, only held back a bit by a couple of odd choices. Trapping characters in a haunted house is a classic horror staple, and while I never really felt that the kids were truly trapped, there were enough spooky moments for me to overlook that, and the silly weakness of the ghost itself.
You
go against my wishes.
The house setting was perfect for this story. It felt sinister even from the outside, and the upstairs hallway was the perfect hub that connected a lot of the scary moments in the episode. And that shot of Louise trapped in the wall, I know that haunted me as a child. The Whisper Inn set didn't really do anything for me, but it was also hardly utilized, and maybe for just that reason. Honestly, I think they should have combined those two locations into one, either making the inn part of the house or the house part of the inn, and just being another room. Structurally, I just think it would have made the whole episode less clunky.
Why don't we walk back to that tavern and use their phone?
My two biggest gripes are pretty minimal, and one is simply the result of having to compact a ghost story into 22 minutes. Sometimes it is scarier not knowing anything about the antagonist, but I could have used a bit of backstory about the house, or Raymond, or even just one or two of the ghosts trapped there. If this had been a two-parter, I think we could have had some really good flashbacks or exposition. My other issue is the ghost's weakness. The wind? Really? It's so dumb! And how does that work? Raymond implies at some point that he and the house are as one, so why doesn't the house just collapse in the wind? It's only when the wind gets in the house or on his manifested form that it's a problem? Like, what if someone just waved their arms or flapped a towel at him? I understand the solution needed to be something simple to film and, for the kids to figure out, but this weakness is as problematic as the rules for taking care of a mogwai.
And probably the most important thing, don't ever feed him after midnight.
Despite a villain that could be expelled by sneezing, the rest of the scares were terrific and would have had younger me sleeping near a fan for a while. Achoo! Not a sneeze! The acting in this episode was okay. Neither Claire nor Andrew did a whole lot for me in the range department, and I think Andrew edges Claire out just a little bit since he was the scaredy cat of the two, and displayed that well enough. Claire displayed some genuine fear in the snake scene, but otherwise seemed pretty unfazed by everything going on around her.
You're so childish.
I'm unclear on how old Louise is supposed to be here, so I'm putting her in the adult actor category. She too was fine. I felt like she was really good when she was supposed to be Raymond in disguise and when she was stuck in the wall, but all of her reactions to everything else that happened in the beginning of the episode just felt off to me. Raymond was a solid creep, giving that classic "Are you afraid of the dark?" over-the-top villain delivery. He never takes it as far as some of the more memorable villains, but, he worked for this story. Violet is also okay, but she's just not really given enough to do to leave an impact. There was also a handful of other adult actors in the episode, but they have so little screen time they're not even worth mentioning.
We wouldn't be here otherwise, would we?
Betty Ann, even when your villains have dumb weaknesses, you continue to be my favorite storyteller. The Tale of the Whispering Walls meets the approval of the Midnight Society. The Midnight Society members poll on this one was another landslide, with every single person approving the tale. So, my ruling stands.
Cool.
I want to thank the following Midnight Society members for participating in the Facebook and YouTube polls: Dion, Rob, Jesse, Chris, Hanif, Michael, Samantha, Tara, Barry, JT, Brandon, Brooke, Adam, Megan, Mara, Kaylin, Janine, and Ben. Thanks, everyone. What did you all think of Betty Ann's story? Did you see it as a kid? What were some of your favorite tales from the series? Let me know in the comments below. Be sure to check out the next episode about the Tale of the Full Moon. Until next time, are you afraid of the dark?
Shut that door!
Thanks for watching, everyone. If you enjoyed this video, please consider giving it a like and a share. Be sure to subscribe and click that bell icon to be notified when more Midnight Society episodes go up. And we've got a ton of other cool shows on the channel, so stick around, you might find something else that you like.